Howdy, I'm here with Audrey, and I'm having an amazing time at CPAC, as always. I love it. This is our second year at the Meadowlands, and it's going even better than last year. Everything's smooth. I haven't seen any hitches. You're all doing an amazing job.
Thank you.
Can you introduce yourself and tell me what you do here?
Sure. So I'm Audrey. I'm the convention chair for CPAC, Castle Point Anime Convention. I manage the year-long planning of the event.
So, what has that been like? How did you fall into this role?
Sure. So I've always been a fan of anime since like middle school. So CPAC is a student-run event, and I'm actually a student too. I'm a junior in college. I'm 20 years old, and this is my third year being a member of CPAC. My first year as a freshman, I was the head of dealer's room. My second year, I was in charge of operations, and this year I'm the convention chair. So it's been a fun experience for sure, because I'm back, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's been great. It's been a great learning experience and so much fun. I've always loved going to anime conventions with friends in high school. I used to go to Anime Next a lot, every year, even when it was in Atlantic City, all the way before when I was in Somerset. So because of that experience, I decided once I got to college, once I went to Stevens, since Stevens has its own anime convention, I definitely wanted to be involved.
Did that help a little bit with what college you want to go to? Like, was Stevens extra awesome for you because of the con?
I mean, a little bit. I mean, I was considering either like Rutgers, which is a large state school in New Jersey, and Stevens, which is a smaller, more closer community school, and like it's a technology school.
Yeah.
So to me, that was more exciting and because it was a small campus and a smaller community. And to some extent, I feel like that culture at Stevens is what influences the culture of CPAC. So a lot of the members, a lot of the way we run things, it's a small family community kind of culture.
All right. So this blows my mind that this is all student run. If someone comes up to you and I would like to work here, what do you look for in that person?
Oh, as long as they want to and they have that passion, they're always more than welcome to join. There's no criteria to be a member of CPAC. So at all our GBM's general body meetings are open to any students to join, and anyone. We had a department. So usually we recruit for department heads, which is the e-board, and then department heads who manage the different department. Usually we recruit for department heads in the fall. That way they get all year to experience. Get to listen in on what the discussions are, get to plan it, but anyone at any time is able to come to any of the meetings. We actually had someone join in February or actually March, and they became a department head just because they showed so much interest and passion, and we were like, this person needs to have, because if you show that passion and interest, you automatically you can be rewarded kind of the responsibility. We feel like you can trust you, you know? So that's the kind of system we work on. If someone shows interest in an initiative, just give them more. And I guess that's why I'm trapped in this. Why I became the convention chair, because people, I guess above me, think oh, this person shows interest in initiative. Let's try see what they do in this new role. And that's how you just keep going up.
Yeah.
So this year we actually had a record number of new members. We have so CPAC staff, the core staff, there's 6 people on the executive board. We're in some extent we're still a school club. So there's an executive board with 6 people, and then underneath us are 25 departments, including dealer's room, etc., video gaming and whatever. And most of them are freshmen.
Huh.
And you would think that's crazy. The head of this department is an 18-year-old freshman in college. But being able to run this event is we plan it all year long. For the most part, they're all really into it. They're really prepared. And as we build stronger connections with each other, we get excited for the event. It's it's the community aspect that makes people want to stay. And that's the most important part, I think. People might be interested, but once they sense that community, that's what makes them want to stay and be involved.
So is that what keeps you coming back?
Definitely, most definitely. I would say my closest friends are the people that I met in CPAC. And it's also because we have that common interest.
Yeah.
There's nothing fake about our relationship. We love anime, and I think in some extent, there's a little bit stigma about liking anime, but because of that friendship, we get to bond, and we get to create something so amazing together.
So this is, I would hate to say it this way, but it's just another wonderful college memory for you to have. Not like the time you spent, which just so happened to be running a gigantic con with thousands of happy people here. That's amazing.
I mean, I suppose so. I mean,
You are being insanely humble because I am very much in shock, awe, and like, wow, you're all doing such great work.
to me, when I came in as a freshman, CPAC was already relatively huge.
Oh, yeah.
We were getting like 3,000, 4,000 attendees at Stevens. We're getting similar attendees here. So I feel like I've never really felt like anything different. So to me, that was always the normal, if that makes sense. There are a lot of student-run events that like have less attendees. So like this event seems like bigger in scale, but to me, it just seems how it is. Does that make sense?
It is, and it's kind of wonderful that it's like, okay, this is normal. This awesomeness is normal, which is great.
We just want to like continue the legacy because CPAC is like, it was founded in 2008. It's super old. Obviously, it started small and it started by like our alumni members who actually are still very involved. Like they always like combine to give advice. So I know one of the things that we talked about before was like how we moved off the Stevens campus.
Can you tell me about that process a bit?
Yeah, so last year was our first year here at the Meadowlands, and the main reason, there's a few reasons I would attribute to why we had to make the move. Stevens doesn't want us there because we're too big. The event got too big. Let me explain, like the undergraduate enrollment of Stevens is like 3,000 and the capacity, like the infrastructure of the school that could handle is like 3,000. Our event was hitting like 4,000, almost 5,000 attendees.
I remember seeing it start to burst at the seams, and it was wonderful to watch as, you know, a somewhat outsider because like, wow. I mean, I think the big saving grace for CPAC was you had the big lawn area.
Yeah.
But a lot of the indoor areas were getting too full. It was starting to, and you could see that you needed to grow, and then you did, and it's working out wonderfully.
The convention is growing. This is the right time to make the move. And currently we established, last year we established like a nonprofit, a corporation. We received our nonprofit status this winter, and then now we're like a nonprofit corporation.
So you're 20 years old and you're working high up at a nonprofit already. That's amazing.
I know.
That is really awesome. Do you stop to think about this sometimes? Like,
No, but it's actually really funny because to me it just seems like normal. But you know, the good thing about it is like employers really think it's amazing.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, you're all just like doing an amazing job with your resumes, and you're just thinking this is normal. This is fine. This is phenomenal.
It really prepares you for like the workforce, I guess. It's very much a job.
So, can you tell me what the growing process has been since you've moved here? What it's been like?
Sure. So last year was our first year at the Meadowlands. So we've had to work closely with the Meadowlands staff to plan the stuff on the floor, and also the Holiday Inn staff to plan like the layouts of the rooms. But everything else besides that is mostly the same. It's like internal. We focus on like things the same. We still offer pretty much the same contents and events every year to year.
Yeah.
I say the only difference was that transition. So for example, when we're at Stevens, all these events were in different places, like the Dealer's Room Artist Alley in the gymnasium, the game room in like a different place. Concerts were held in a different space. So that transition and putting them all into one room. Oh my gosh. So last year we had the huge issue with the sound pollution. It was totally overlooked because we've never been here before.
Yeah.
We didn't know what to anticipate.
You've addressed the growing pains.
Yeah.
As far as I've seen this year, the sound pollution has gone way, way down. Everything is set up, so at least in my opinion, better than last year. So
Thank goodness.
good job there. Can you tell me about an experience you've had since you worked here? Let's say a problem that arose that you fixed, that you're just like, oh, yeah, that sigh you get after like, oh, okay, you don't have to go specifically too much into it, but like, what do you think was one of the most challenging experiences that you overcame?
Challenging experiences was definitely registration last year.
Ooh, I remember some of that.
That was that was rough because not like My freshman year, like I said, I was the dealer's room department head, and I had transitioned in my sophomore year as the head of operations, and under operations is registration. So I would have to say it was all my fault because I had never seen registration before, and I never saw it at Stevens. I'd only been to conventions, so I saw it from like an attendee perspective, but not from like a running it perspective, and I had to plan registration. That too, in a new space.
Yeah.
And I was like, how do we do it at Stevens? And I tried my best to model it the same way as how we did it at Stevens. But I feel like that didn't end up working because there's a lot more people. Like at Stevens, I think we had more at-door sales than pre-reg. Now it's flip-flop. We have more people who pre-register and less people at-door.
I remember that because the line being longer and people were freaking, yeah.
Yeah, so when I planned it, I was like, okay, looking at the data, more people buy at-door, so we should put more at-door things and less pre-reg things. The pre-reg line, wow, it was
Yeah,
like,
I remember.
and then I was like, oh shoot, what should we do? So I was like, everybody go to registration right now. We need people on. And then the worst part of it all, the rain. Oh my gosh.
I'm having flashbacks right now, yeah. But that was sorted. I remember when this happened.
Yeah.
It's sooner or later you got the line under control, things move forward, and one of the big things we realized is once people went in, everything seems to get better.
Yeah, so because it was raining, they had to stay in there. Thankfully, this year we were blessed with better weather. People, once they got their badge, just went outside and they were like, oh, I'll come back at 10 when the doors open. Some of the things this year we did to combat it was we started lining people up in the parking lot, and then we let them in groups of 50 at a time. And then we had, I think, 8 setups for pre-registration because we had like a few thousand people in pre-registration. We knew like the pre-reg is gonna be big, so we gotta put all our resources there, and I think it went well. I think by 10:30 or 11, like everything was like cleared out.
Oh, I know. It's when I start. I think that's around when I came in.
And you were like, "Where is everybody?"
Yeah, I'm like, oh, they're all inside. Most of them are inside. The line was people were just shooting in. Like, this is going so much. That was one of my first thoughts when I came in. Like, this is going so much better. They fixed the line. I'm seeing all the things set up right. I'm like, they really learned.
Oh,
So you nailed it. You really nailed it. I was happy to see that.
Thank you. Yeah.
So, what would you say would be the most rewarding feelings for you your first year when you first started out, your second year, and so far for now, today? What do you think? So, like your very first year, what was like the most rewarding thing about what you were doing?
So my freshman year, I was in charge of dealer's room, like I said before, and the most rewarding thing, I guess across all the years, is when CPAC happens. Like you spend all the time all year long, and you're planning this event. My freshman year, I didn't even know what it was going to look like because I had never even attended. I went to Anime Next, but I never attended CPAC, so I didn't know what to expect. But all the things you coordinate throughout the year, seeing it come like detail by detail, piece by piece, into like this 1-2 days is like so like cool and like amazing to me. So just seeing that all come together, that's the most rewarding aspect, I would say, in my freshman and sophomore years as dealer's room and con ops.
Okay.
But this year, I think what's more rewarding to me is like the community that has been built among the staff. So I think CPAC historically, like CPAC has been around for like 10, 11 years. But in the past, I've heard, like there were like less members in CPAC, and it was like right now we have like a staff of like 35 to plus like a staff of alumni, like 15 alumni, so like around 50 people involved in CPAC. But it wasn't always like that, I heard. So this year I like really took extra effort into building like a community, and like just to our freshmen and sophomore, like the new members, I always try my best to go out of my way to make them, like I really try to like get to know them better. That's like one of my priorities, and just to see them stay involved and like be like sincerely interested in stuff, and then also seeing them right now at the convention doing the things they've planned and they've been working on and seeing them do a good job at it, that's what makes me feel the most proud this year. And that's like, it means a lot to me because I was once a freshman who was just like, what do I do? What is this? Like, don't know what to expect. Seeing them like being like growing as people now, as I'm convention chair, because like my role is kind of to oversee them.
Yeah.
That's more important to me. And like I hope like for next year, if I am convention chair, that we get to continue on a similar path. CPAC as a whole
Yeah.
grows closer. We like work harder, and the convention as a result becomes even more better.
That sounds great. So, what would you say to someone watching this now who's interested in coming to Castle Point next year?
Oh, like to attend?
To attend?
Oh my God, you should definitely come.
You
Well,
should.
I'm a little biased, but I mean, we work hard all year long, and there's a lot of events planned. This year we had so many new things. We have the Tiki Tiki board games, we have Combat Network, the console games, Snow Phoenix, got more cabinets. We expanded the dealer's room and artist alley. There are about like 10 new dealers and 20 more artists. We have food trucks this year because we wanted to have the Japanese Asian food options.
You got Go-Go Curry now.
Yeah, we got Go-Go Curry. I want to eat some. I have to go after this to get some. And Koro Koro and Mrs. Fu's Yummy Food Truck and the Maid Cafe. The Maid Cafe was like one of the good things that I got last year. I DM'd them on Instagram and I was like, hey, would you like, do you do events? And they were like, we never did this before, but we'd be interested.
Sweet.
So now we have a Maid Cafe.
The soda vendor is doing really well as well.
Yes.
That's something, I'm seeing them with the tins and they're doing a great job, and
Yes.
everyone's like lining up more and more for their free refills. Everything's been an improvement from my eyes. You should come here because this con has just been getting better and better and better.
Thank
New
you.
space. There were a few growing pains last year that are gone this year. So you should check it out. Thank you so much. It's been a
Thank
pleasure.
you very